Facebook. Let me get a few people in on that. All right. Just want to wait till that finished, man. All right, all right, all right. What's going on, Florida? It's right here, your boy Jerk Jerkins, right here on FloridaHipHopRadio.com. And today, we have a very, very, very special treat for the audience. I am very excited about speaking to our guest today. I have none other than co-founder and COO, as far as a whole lot of other hats, as far as mother and patriot and wife and a whole host of other things. We have none other than Dr. Angela Scott. How are you doing, ma'am?
I am wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that intro there. I love it. Thank
Well,
you.
no, we are very happy to have you here. So let's kind of start from the beginning, for people who don't know who you are or what we're going to be discussing today. Which let me first do that first. We definitely want to talk about Journaling with a Smile, your new release that you all can go and pre-order right now at www.ghc-smile.com. I just want to get that out of the way first, and we'll definitely do that throughout the show, just so people, so I don't know if they're going to be people that are going to be able to go off and come on, but we want to make sure they know where to go and access the reading. So let's start from the beginning. You grew up a Florida native?
I'm not a well, that's an interesting question because I was born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Nice.
My father, yes, he's an entrepreneur. He was an entrepreneur. He's no longer with us, and he was traveling as a contractor.
Nice.
So I was born in Jacksonville, Florida, left there and grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Wow, awesome. There's this fascination with New Orleans culture. I think that no matter where you go outside of New Orleans, everybody wants to know what's it like being from there. I've only been there once, but very, very awesome place. I got to get back. So let's talk about, I want to first talk about your credentials. You're a doctor. So can we talk a little bit about your educational journey? You were educated right there in New Orleans, I'm presuming, from at an early age.
I did do my all of my adolescent, high school, junior high school education in Louisiana, and I also went to the HBCU, Southern University.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes.
by you classic.
HBCU.
Nice.
I graduated with a mathematics degree, cum laude.
Wow, congratulations.
In 1996, yes. So had a love for mathematics. Had a love for science. Actually, and I was fighting not to be a teacher. Ironically, God directs our path.
Yes, He
and
does.
I became a teacher anyway. That's one of my mother's favorite stories.
Yes, ma'am.
I became an educator.
Wow. Well, just kudos to you on your whole path there. I used to think I was a mathematical guy until I took statistics, and then it was a whole nother ballgame. But I just want to really give you your roses for that, because it sounds like I'm talking to a certified genius here. So let's talk about your educational journey from there up until your doctorate.
So from there, I did in between after undergrad, I was in the military.
Okay.
I did do the reserves.
Nice.
Air Force reserves. And then I did 1 year of active duty. Now, when people look at me, they will look at me and never knew that I worked on a fighter jet.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was a part of an all-male unit, which was a very interesting role for me. However, it grew me as a young lady and made me stronger and confident in what I did in life. And so from there, I came out and I started working on my master's degree in science management. So I got an MSM in science management. At this time, I am teaching mathematics. I'm working in the Upper Bound Project at USL. I just fell in love with the whole art of growing people. I got an opportunity to teach night school. And so at that point, I really did wanted to open up my own nonprofit. I didn't necessarily take that direction, but I went to work on my doctoral degree in educational leadership nonprofit. So I'm a doctorate in education. so where I can just work with nonprofits and profit organization and leadership.
That's all right. Educators, our
Yes.
precious black educators. There's very storied history on our relation to education, how important it is, and I just really want to tip my hat to you. We do a segment here, Black Educator of the Week, where we just want to give you guys as much credit as possible because you guys a lot of times end up doing double work. You know what I mean? So we definitely want to make sure you guys know that you are appreciated from here at least. Let's talk about, you talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit your decision on joining the reserve and how that catapulted you to do other things. I just thought that was brilliant.
So, don't laugh. So I really did join the reserve because I had a college boyfriend who broke my heart.
Oh, man.
So that was the way.
That loser.
That was a way to kind of, don't ask me why I thought that was going to use the pain now.
Yeah.
But I did join the military from a broken heart. But
Wow.
again, that was an experience that I did enjoy.
Yes, ma'am.
He was in the military.
Ah.
So I wanted to see what that was all about. So hey,
Wow.
that's how I got into the Air Force.
Well, hey, and look what happened from this. So I still think that was a very good decision there. So let's talk about, and we're definitely going to get into journaling with the capital S.M.I.L.E. But let's talk about growing capital with the S.M.I.L.E., the LLC. And could you say it for me? Because I know I'm butchering it. Could you just say it properly for me?
You're doing well. Well, the company name is Growing Human Capital with a Smile. So my current love in my life today, my husband, my partner
Mr. Eric
in
Scott.
life and also in business, we pair very well in doing co-training where we can really tap into what is in the mindset of a male, what's in the mindset of a female. And about 6 years ago, we got tapped to do a workshop training. And that training was just, how do you respond to each other professionally and personally when you're dealing with individuals, right? And so it was birthed from that. So we was impregnated with this idea
Yes, ma'am.
of growing people and how we do that. And so the company was just birthed in 2014 about growing people. And at the beginning, we just did a lot of diversity training and equity training among the sexes.
Wow. And okay, so you guys, somebody requested you guys to do this before you started the LLC.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So this just our passion, what we were doing. We were out here we were doing workshops, trainings, just showing up at different places, speaking about empowerment and growth, the value of education, the value of just picking up books to read, and we also believe in the process of writing, the whole point of the journal, because we know what you write is eventually what you will get done also. And so as we were doing workshops like that, we were tapped by a government agency, a state agency, to do a workshop, and that just took off from there, and it just allowed us to grow this company as it is today.
Wow. Well, congratulations, and we definitely will we're gonna try to help as much as possible over here because I'm just in love with the thought of what you guys are doing. Let's talk a little bit about what the experience like, what the consumer business experience is like with growing human capital with the S.M.I.L.E. So I come to you, Florida Hip Hop Radio. Approach you. I say, well, I got some issues going on here with diversity or whatever the case may be. I know you guys offer team building, event planning, and a host of, let me say it right, executive and personal development coaching. But so tell me a little bit about those things and what it's like being on the opposite end of the services you provide.
So the first thing I would do is really kind of sit with you and have a conversation is, why did you reach out? Why do you think that you need to have a team building activity? Why do you want to pull your employees together? Is there anything that you're noticing that's a little off? Do you feel that somebody's been excluded in the organization? Do you feel like right now, especially in this virtual world,
Yes, ma'am.
that you feel that people are not really getting that touch and feeling? Because social distancing doesn't mean that we don't socialize with each other. It just simply means that we just have to be safe distance. And so how do we really operate that? So I would kind of just do a need assessment, try to figure out what do you really need. But then there's two products that I love working with, True Colors and the DIS assessment. And both of those assessments is a personality assessment. It kind of gives you a peek look at a person and how they respond to life. What frustrates them, what do they like, what's their best characteristics. And once you learn that about yourself and also about your colleague, you'll be amazed on how you find out how you respond to each other after that. You won't get as aggravated when you find out somebody is a goal, because you know they like this checklist and you're like, okay, this is what
it puts it all in perspective for.
a little bit.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about, okay, so you guys are basically ordained to start this company, and you started in 2014, you and your husband.
Yes, you did.
And shout out to your husband, Mr. Eric Scott, who's the co-founder and CEO as well, right? And you guys have a beautiful family as well, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. So you guys start the company in 2014 after being basically ordained to do this. You guys and then I'm trying to figure out what compelled you to take this and actually write a book.
Okay, so I have a story. I mean, all of us have a story in us.
Yes, ma'am.
My mother is she's an avid reader, and she always teases me. She said everybody has a story, but she's always reading those books too.
Yes, ma'am.
The book she has read. So the story that was birthed in me was one that I did want to share, and it was one about in 2010, August 6, 2010, I had a brain aneurysm that erupted. Wow. And that story in itself, just the people who surround me that day,
yes, ma'am,
is the reason why I'm here today. And not only the people who was there who came to visit me in the hospital, the prayers that happened for me. So it made me just reflect on my smile that I have and just say, you know what, I truly believe in the Prince, like I just believe in serving, modeling, inspiring, listening, and engaging. That's the smile. It is serving, smile is serving, modeling, inspiring, listening, and engaging. And during that aneurysm experience and not being able to understand after that surgery when I wake up and know my loved ones, I'm happy to be able to smile and I'm happy to be able to serve. So that's what the journaling process was all about, because during that time I wrote down a lot of experience and I wrote down all the people who were there for me. So this journal experience is going to help people see their own smile.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Well, I'd like to say first, you're a survivor, so I just want to say, bless your heart for even going through that. I actually lost a family member to a brain aneurysm, so I know how serious that is. So I just want to say, thank God, really, this the fact that you're here. So that's a blessing in itself. So you write the book. There's actually an excerpt to the book that I wanted to read, if that's okay. Yeah, and this is from the birth of, this is a chapter from chapter birth of the S.M.I.L.E, which you just kind of told us what those, can you break down the acronym again for us?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
S.M.I.L.E, S for serve, M, modeling, I, inspire, L, listen,
right,
engage.
And I'm definitely gonna have you talk about all of those in a second. But I didn't want because this story kind of struck me, and it said that this is the excerpt from the chapter birth of S.M.I.L.E. It's in the early '90s. I was recruited to a predominantly male unit. During my service, I faced a chief master sergeant who said to me behind closed doors that I was quote unquote girly looking. This statement was unnecessary. I had been a part of a unit for a couple years. I did not understand what he meant by my girly look. Why the confusion? I'm a female. So why state the obvious by saying I have a girly look? Now, definitely not trying to, any spoiler alerts or anything like that. But can you kind of tell us how this approach helped you in that situation?
Well, you have to read the book for the response.
Ah, nice.
Hey, but I will tell you this. My response to that, because I'm not even sure if I could say that on the radio.
Yes, ma'am.
So my response to that Chief Master Sergeant was that, I'm a grown person. I'm a grown woman here.
Yes,
So it was an unnecessary statement to say. He tried to make me feel conscious of how I look, my shape.
Different, yeah.
And, and for him not to have an appearance that looked like me, I know it wasn't coming from a mentor statement. It was coming from more of a different type of statement, the one to put us in certain places to make us respond in a certain type of way. And at that moment, I smiled. And I realized if I said anything different of disrespect, I knew that I can get an Article 15. I was like, it's not worth it.
Right.
And so it taught me how people could try to push a button in you because he was stating the obvious, right?
Yeah.
And why did it be behind closed doors? But you know what? The Me Too movement wasn't around during that time.
Right.
I just leave that there.
Yes. Oh, well, I still want to give you your props for handling it in such a classy form there. Let's talk a little bit about, and we're definitely get right back to the book. For anybody that's just listening, you can pre-order your copy today at www.ghc-smile.com. Pick those up, please, and bless your life, man. This is a question I had. This was kind of random, but tell me about Angela's Black and Brown Business Board.
So I will tell you that. I know you heard of Tom Joyner. I hope you heard of Tom Joyner.
Yes, ma'am. I actually got to meet him.
So Tom Joyner, years ago, I'm gonna say at least 20 years ago, I heard a couple on the show, and one of the challenges that they wanted to do at that time is like, can you actually take a day and try to purchase from Black and Brown businesses, just that one day?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I know since then I actually saw recently where Killer Mike and other people have really tried to do that.
Yes.
But 20 years ago, I had this challenge. And so I've always have been trying to, how much of my income, how much of our family income can we put back into Black and Brown businesses, small businesses, small business, large business, whatever it is, but I really do want to support them. And I'm always saying this too, that, people will say things like, but it costs a little bit more. Well, guess what? If we don't start spending our money with them, they can never get the prices of Walmart, Target, anybody else.
Right.
We have to put our money where we want our community to grow.
That is, that speaks to my heart here. That's what we do here. We try to do as much as possible is, recycle our money in the community, just like any other community. And we're actually underway of, trying to reach more local political power as a collective of Black media here in order to receive equity when it comes to advertising. It's a whole different story there, but it definitely speaks to a lot on what you're speaking to there. Let's talk a little bit. I was curious about this. James 4:10, which is humble yourself before the Lord, and He will lift you up. Now, if my mom was watching right now, she'd be very proud of me. But can you tell me? Yes, she would. He's like, oh, you in that hip hop station that you quoting Bible scripture? She would be very happy with me right now. But yes, she would. But let's talk about what that means to you and how it relates to journaling with the S.M.I.L.E, which you can pick up right now, www.ghc-smile.com.
So with humbling yourself before the Lord, we have to remember that everything that we do, no matter if it's big, small, every success, and even every failure that we have, we should just be thankful to God about it. So one of the things I look at with this scripture is I'm either being blessed or I'm learning. I'm either being blessed because when we celebrate our success and our achievement and our accomplishment, we always want to praise God and thank Him for it. But when we have a hardship or a disappointment, then we want to, blame somebody else or something went wrong. But that's the teaching in that. So when we humble ourselves before the Lord and we lift Him up, We can always find the teaching in the good, the bad, and in the ugly. And so, with this journaling experience, once you start asking yourself the questions like, what do you want to accomplish this day? What you have learned for this day? You would just start seeing how God is stretching you. And it would just humble you to see from day to day how you are growing.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's almost I'm almost wordless here. Let's talk about let's talk a little bit about how journaling with the S.M.I.L.E. and growing human capital with the S.M.I.L.E. You do a lot of work with companies and businesses, and we read the excerpt, which was more as a personal experience. Talk about just the everyday person. I like to talk about the guy that works at Taco Bell. The guy that works at Taco Bell. How can he be blessed by purchasing this book in more of a, because I mean he's not a company or a business, you know what I mean? So more in a more individual sense.
So the young man that's working at Taco Bell, he
Yeah.
picks up this book, and what he will notice is how he can improve his inner personal relationships, right? And then he can also improve the relationship with himself. So, we tend to want to, the journaling with a smile is going to help people get to know themselves better, to become to a self-awareness of who you are. Ask yourself some of those tough questions. How are you responding to people? Are you really listening to people when they're really speaking to you?
Right.
Can you call someone conversation back today, right? So the gentleman at Taco Bell, of course, there's thousands of cars going through, but if he just make me feel good, right, I'm going to remember him. He may not remember me, but he can understand how to do that by doing some of the activities in this journal. This is not just a journal where they can just write in it. It's a journal that got them doing action steps also. So it's an engaging journal, that activities that they will do and that they will reflect on.
Wow, and I love the thought of that, because that way they can see the entire process, and you see how it comes, and you see how it manifests. And so it's brilliant there. Now I had you break down the acronym S.M.I.L.E., which was serve, model, inspire, listen, and engage. But you also have another set of of letters for the acronym. For the acronym SMILE, which would be it's sensory and social, motor, music and mindfulness, intellectual, linguistic, and emotional. What is the term for that collection of phrases for that? What's that about?
So that gets more into the executive coaching and the personal development that
Okay.
we do. So when you schedule a consultation with me, like I said, I will definitely want to do a personality assessment so that I can figure out where in that smile that you kind of lack in. There are no perfect smiles out there, and all of this is truly fun and the research in it that I've done over the years. But when a person really have a servant leadership or a servant heart attitude, you can see how some of those acronyms off of the infographic that we have, the SMILE, that how they can actually engage with individuals there. So modeling the right behavior, the motor skills, the music skills. The music industry, the hip hop, jazz, it puts us in certain moods, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That makes us want to do different things. So when you have that consultation in a personal development coaching session, I would take those particular skills and show you how you respond to life better with that also.
Wow.
How you engage in your relationships with your spouse, partners, even with your family, children, and your colleagues on the job.
All right. Well, hey, we're definitely coming to a close here at the end of the hour here, but I want to give you the last couple of minutes I just want to give you the floor to kind of express to the people more anything that I didn't think of, or something that you may want, any parting words.
Oh, I just want to thank you for this opportunity, DJ Daniels. I like to think I'm gonna send out a shout out to Stan Sloss Pullen. Stan Pullen.
Absolutely. Stan, what's up,
Shout
brother?
out to him. And I'm gonna
Yes.
send a shout out to his lovely wife, Faith,
Hmm.
for them just being very supportive of this project. Getting an opportunity to meet you today, also, I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
But I do want to leave people with this: is that journaling might seem like a tasking responsibility, like you got to journal every day or something. But what it does for you is not something that you have to do every day. It's not that you have to write long paragraphs and long sentences. But what it does do for you is allow for you to jot down thoughts, feelings, expressions, goals, and dreams. And as you do this and you reflect back on it, you can just see how far you are growing in life. Every day we should be growing to get better. I'm not the same person I was yesterday because I want to be better in this day. And I reach for that and I search for it and I do it by reflecting. So reflection is very important in your life, and that's how you can see how much growth you have. And that's why I keep the smile.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I want to say thank you for your support and thank you for, um, if I had never met you, man, just thank you for what you do for everybody in general. I mean, what you do is amazing. And I just wish you the best. I also want to let you know that anything that we can do here at Florida Hip Hop Radio, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. We're definitely going to run this commercial as much as we possibly can and as long as we possibly can. It won't be a problem, at least for the next month or two. So, if there's anything that we need to, that you feel the community needs to be abreast of or to know about, and feel free. And I would love for you to come on again at any time. We definitely got an open door here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dr. Angela Scott, the co-founder and COO of Growing Human Capital, Growing Human Capital with the S.M.I.L.E. LLC, as well as the author of Journaling with the Capital S.M.I.L.E. You can pick that up at www.ghc-smile, as well as I saw that you can book appointments and all on there, right?
Yes,
I saw that,
yes.
man. That's pretty awesome. So please go peruse that website and support because she's definitely doing something that's beneficial to the entire community as well as the society. Thanks again for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.